Sleepy Alpaca asked me, how do you export and format comic pages in Clip Studio? Specifically, what formats should you export into, and what the heck are the border things in Clip Studio? Can you trim to those? So, I will start with what formats you can or should export your comic pages into. So, for example, PNGs, JPEGs, or TIFFs. What is a PNG? A PNG is a format that is great for vector and like geometric stuff, flat colors, crisp lines. It's that exactly. It makes things really crisp. It's very great for smooth lines, flat colors. It makes everything very sharp, and it also supports transparency in your picture. So if you have a picture that needs like a transparency on the background for, say, like, I don't know, putting it on a website or something, PNGs are perfect for that. However, if you have, say, a picture that's very like painterly, or you have like a really detailed gradient or something, PNGs might make it look a little bit distorted. They're not great for, say, gradients. Whereas a JPEG, they are perfect for stuff that has like those painterly details to it. So a lot of comics, say if they're in like full color with lots of shading, JPEGs are your best friend. JPEGs are also like the most commonly used image format, I think, because they compress to like a really small size. So like they're easy to load on web pages, they're easy to transfer around, they take up less space on your storage. But the thing is, when they compress, sometimes the quality can go down, especially as they're re-edited. The quality of being compressed over and over again will bring the quality down over and over again. So if, say, you're working with a vector, turning it into a JPEG might make it a little fuzzy because of that compression. But overall, JPEGs are, like, they're a safe bet. They're in fact, I'd encourage you to export your pages into JPEGs if you're really not sure. Oh, JPEGs are also used for printing. If you're sending print files to, say, like a print shop, like, JPEGs are like a good thing to send, opposed to PNGs, because PNGs are meant for the web. JPEGs are your best bet overall, though be careful with that compression, because it can make your image look not so good if you're not careful. And the comment also asked about TIFFs. I don't use TIFFs. I don't understand them very well, but from what I read, it sounds like they are really big files that don't lose quality with editing because they don't compress a lot. So they're great for like archiving an image because if you need to re-edit it, you won't lose quality, whereas you would with a JPEG. So yeah, I guess they're a good way to archive your images. I don't know. I don't use TIFFs. Maybe I should. I don't know. Someone tell me if I should use TIFFs. Anyways, so after that maybe misinformed information I'm giving you, I hope it's not misinformed. For my pages, for the most part, I use JPEGs. It's because they're accepted all over the place. Sometimes if I export it weird, like I use like a low resolution or something, or I compress from like a big resolution, like 600 dpi to like 72 dpi, the image gets a little fuzzy. But as long as I'm careful with that, I find JPEGs are great. They're easy to email to Bones, because a lot of the time we'll be exchanging images for like, I'll finish a page and send it to him to upload. So yeah, and JPEGs, like I said, they support the really nice painterly stuff, and color images are great with JPEGs. It's all good. They're a good format. They're what I use for the most part. Whereas in my day job, where I do a lot of graphic design, making graphics for like websites and in-app stuff, I primarily use PNGs. So there you go, because it's all vector-based. Now, about the border thingies in Clip Studio, when I'm working on my pages and you see the little faint blue boundaries near the edge of the page, those are bleed lines. Now, what is a bleed? Well, a bleed is the line that a printer will cut when they trim the paper after printing. So if you don't bring your artwork over the bleed, or to the bleed, there will be a white border around your image if you say printed it. Whereas if you bring your artwork to the bleed or over the bleed, when you get your product back, there won't be a white border. Your artwork will go to the edge of the page. In Clip Studio, they provide you with a bleed and a safe area. So like the outer border is like, this is your bleed, this is where the image is going to get cut. The rectangle inside that is like your safe area. If you keep all the important artwork inside here, it won't get cut off if you send it to a printer. If you buy that ready-made comic paper or like manga paper that they'll sell where they have all these like guidelines for you, it's the same thing. It's just, here's your safe area, here's your bleed, format your pages within these. Now, I don't generally use them as they're intended in that way. As you can probably see, I have my lines sitting right on the bleed, or my panel lines, I mean. So if I did send this exact file off to print, it would cut and the panel would be like sitting right on the edge of the paper and it would look really weird. The way I use them is just kind of a guide for laying out my panels so that across all my pages they're a consistent width. Because the way Bones and I export things for print is I will export the pages as they are with like the big white space all around them and send it to Bones, and he'll plop all the pages into an InDesign file, and he'll create new bleeds as, you know, as we want it. And then we send that off to the printer to be trimmed, etc. When I'm exporting for web, what I tend to do is I will trim to the panel line, so like the outer edge of all the panels, and then expand the border so it's even all the way around. I have better control over my border. Saying it out loud, it sounds like it doesn't make sense, but if I showed you, it'd probably make sense. Anyways, when I'm exporting for web, I leave a white border around the panels, and I don't worry about the bleed lines because they disappear when you export it anyways. So if you're using Clip Studio, you can adhere to the bleed lines and just trim them as you want, or just do what I do and use them for consistency. So I hope that answers your question. I hope that all made sense. I feel a little bit like I'm talking nonsensically, because I'll be real, I'm a little fuzzy on this stuff. I have like habits of what I do, but I'm not entirely sure if it's right. So if you have a better way of exporting pages, please let me know. I want my pages to be good. Anyways, okay. Where did my confidence go? Who knows? That's all I have for today. If you have any questions, or if you'd like to request a video topic, please leave a comment down below. I'll be answering all of the art questions, and Bones, the other guy on this channel, will be answering all the writing questions. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye!